You know, fishing lets the child in me come out. I love throwing rocks. I like carrying a good pocket knife, a nice kind of thing. You know, guys, I like peeing in the woods. I like to see the birds and the animals in the wild. I like waters. I like the sight and the sound and the touch of waters. McLean, in his River Runs Through It, said, "I am haunted by waters." Me too. It's a nice kind of thing. You know, every time I go out on a fishing trip, there are some memorable moments. There are some wonderful times that I remember later on. In fly fishing, those moments seem to happen a little more often than other kinds of fishing. I like the casting. I like throwing that line back and forth, and the sweet feel of a good cast is like hitting a baseball just right, or a golf ball. I like that weightless fly floating down to the water. I envy you people that are just beginning, because your moments are even going to be greater. They're going to be wonderful. You know, after the hard disciplines of learning how to fly cast, after you can get the ball in play, your learning is over now, my friends. For the rest of your lives, it's going to be discovery. It's going to be fun. Fly fishing. Here's how I think it all began. Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, probably a day like today, with insects all over and trout selectively feeding on these little mayflies, I think a couple of guys were probably standing on a bridge like this and they couldn't catch those fish. One of those guys was our old friend, Joe Schmatkapop. You remember Joe. Joe is the guy that said, "I don't cast so good, but I catch fish." And today, if I can't catch them on worms, they can't be caught. But his friend may have been the first genius in fly fishing. He figured out that he couldn't put those delicate little mayflies on the crude hook, so he put a little piece of wool on the hook, and he reached over and dapped the fly on the water with his line like this, and the fish came up and ate the fly, and fly fishing was born, my friends. And then another genius came along, and I think this fellow figured out that if he put the weight in the line instead of this fly, maybe he could throw the line out a little bit. So he wove horsehair together to make it good and heavy. Had it tapered, of course, to tie the fly on. Now he had a little bit of weight. Now he could use a shorter rod and a longer line, and he could throw the line back and forth because there was a little bit of weight in there. Probably get out 20, 30 feet. And then another genius came along, and he figured out if you could stop the rod and form a little loop in the line as it was going out, like this. Good cast. Now we can cast 100 feet or more, and we can present that weightless fly almost as delicately as they could when they first started dapping the fly.